Thanks for stopping by, guys, and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic. Today we're going to be building something. This is going to be just a pure building episode because I'm going to be working on an experimental engine design I have thought up of. And to some extent this is going to be a tutorial on how I build engines, while at the same time this is going to be a completely new engine. So I don't know if this is going to work by the time I'm done with it, but if it goes the way I think it will, it should be just fine. Now, I'm not 100% sure how I want to do this episode, if it's going to be more time-lapse or it's just going to be straight up building like it is right now. I have to remember how I'm going to do this. So this is going to be a V6 engine is what my plan is right now. And I know to an extent how I'm going to do this, but I'm not 100% sure on a few details. Now I'm trying to make this engine to be extremely compact. So I'm trying to remember how I'm supposed to do this. Because one thing with engines, especially when I build engines, is I usually have an idea of what I'm doing long before I do it. I already have a lot of this stuff thought up, and I just have to remember what I was going to do. I do a lot of my planning before I even start building. That's one of the big things I do with engines. I don't think some people realize, and I think that's why some people ask me how I build my engines, because they don't realize I do a lot of planning beforehand, and there is a lot of trial and error when I build engines. Like I just said a minute ago, I'm not 100% sure if this will work. It does have the possibility of just not working at all when I get done with this. But if I do it right, it should be fine. Okay. So now this is the front part of it. This is the more complex part. This is what's going to help me make it into a V engine, this little piece here. It will hopefully make some more sense once I actually get it going and built. But for now, it just looks really confusing as to what exactly it is. Now what I need to do is I need to actually start with the cylinders. Now the engine I'm trying to build, there's a few different ways I want to build this, and they can get me a few different outcomes in the sense of how they will work timing wise as well as size. Size being one of the big factors of this engine. One of the big things I want to do with this engine is I do want to keep it a very tiny size. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to unbuild some of this, because I'm going to go with a style which I expect to work much easier. It's going to be a little bit bigger, but it should guarantee working. And it will also have a few less parts, so it should have a slightly smaller frame rate once I'm done with it. I just gotta remember how I'm doing this. Okay, I remember. Like I said before, there is a lot of planning that I go into. I don't just hop into and start building the engine. I know what it is I'm going to do beforehand, which means I do have to plan a lot for these engines. And 6-cylinder, so this is going to be similar to a boxer timing system or boxer setup that I would do. There we go. Now, what I mean by it's more of a boxer setup, just the way the cylinders are going to be working is similar to what I do for a boxer than what I would do for an inline engine. And it's kind of hard to explain because it all comes down to knowing how my other engines work. Like these two cylinders right here that are going to be connected up to these two will be firing at the same time. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rather than something like an inline, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. think I painted this. Yes, I did. Alright, and I should be ready for the piston. Get rid of this. And piston. Now when it comes to timing, I'm not 100% sure how I want to do timing for this. I think I'm going to do something like this. I've never used this timing system in an engine, so I am going to have to play with it to get it to work right. Because I usually use a timing block which is outside the engine that the pistons read off of. But this, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to read off the piston itself. And I only need one system because of how I'm going to do this. So that is a benefit to the way I'm doing this, because it is, like I said earlier, it is kind of that boxer design. I should only need one sensor to do all of these. And then that's why it doesn't seem right. Okay. Everything's as it should be. And let's grab this. And that. Alright, that's already connected. And that's already connected. And now to start connecting things up. Red 90 and red 45. See if this is right. Yes, it is. So that's going to be the size of the engine and hole. I could make this smaller. I do know a way to, but for the sake of simplicity right now, I am not. Actually, I need to leave it off the lift so I can get the timing system set up. I need sensors. Where are my sensors? There are my sensors. Sensors. And dink. And come on, let me place that. Oh well. I don't need that right away. And I need one of these. Last but not least, these should be 120 and 120. Why are you not sensing? Why are you not sensing your trigger right there? Any of you are sensing your triggers. That's an issue. Huh. That's an issue indeed. It should be sensing that, I would hope. But apparently not. Let's see, something like this, would you sense it? That's more than enough for what I need. It's bigger than what I need. I was hoping it'd sense this, but it's not. Which is a problem. Now I can't use that because of another reason. I was hoping this would work. Apparently it's not going to, which is a problem for me. Let's see, let's think. How can I fix this timing system? I can tilt this. So if I go bearing, and then connect these via bearings, I should be able to rotate it enough where it should catch that little peg I'm using. Mark these down to 2, 2, 2. And let's get these connected to that, and they all should kick off. Now let's turn this 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, 4, 5, there we go, that one kicks. I want this one to kick 2. 6, there we go, 6 degrees. So that's done. Now we need the and pieces, because I need to be able to turn this engine on and off. I need this engine to be open again, so I can put these in it. And one's gonna go there, one's gonna go there, and one's going to go there. I have to weld these back up. Connect all of this stuff up. And let's get a switch on the front of it. Connect you to this, this, and this. Change the others are already ands. And then simply connect these to the pistons. And now I need to get this a little test bracket so I can take this off the lift without it falling over. Oh, didn't mean to add that. There we go. And there we go. Here comes the moment of truth. Engine start. Oops. Let's see what would happen if we knock that back to 5. So now we're working decent. This bearing right here, if you look at it, it's bouncing. But it is functional right now. And as you see on a lift, it starts really compact and then it expands slightly. It's nowhere near as big as the boxer engine would be. It's a bit taller, which is a concern. Now I could decorate this, but I'm not going to for the simple sake of size, because this is meant to be a small engine. But let's actually hop in here and actually turn these pistons up, because right now they're now at a slower speed. These only need to be range 2. You only see it pick up speed a little bit. Now this bounce in this section here is concerning. You see it bouncing a little bit. I might have to try and either lock that in or add another bearing. Try and keep it more stable. Now let's get these turned up higher. Speed wise. Oh, something's not working right. There we go. Okay, and that is causing our timing system to break. Probably because the bearings are starting to give out on this. Let's turn this speed down. Come on, give me that center one. Nope. Let's put it back on a lift real quick, see if that helps. So it opens up. Turn it on. Seems to be working just fine. It's clanking because it's actually smacking into because these little nubs on this piece are smacking into the sensors when it comes back. Whoa, that just jumped. But I'm kind of curious what would happen if I mounted this into a vehicle. So I'm going to turn all these back up. Alright, they're all back up. We're going to grab out gear car 20 because it has one of the easiest to remove engines in it. And this I think is a 6-cylinder as well. So we're going from a 6-cylinder to a 6-cylinder, which will be easy to change out. And there we go, the engine's out. And go just like this. I don't want to do that. I need to actually cut this off of here. Put you on. I need to put both of you on a lift. No, I don't, because when I weld this, it'll treat it as if it's rolled up. There we go. And then this needs to be connected to the frame for this to work properly. Okay, let's just bring this back a bit so we can connect it to the frame. And now the engine should be plugged in just fine. There we go. Looks bigger than it is, I think, in my opinion. Let's get in here. The engine's going. That's unfortunate. The engine spins the opposite as the engine in this would. So right now I'm actually in reverse, but because the engine spins opposite, it shows me as going forward. This engine does seem to be really inefficient. Because of the bearings that are built into it, it bounces. There's a lot of give in this engine, which is not a good thing, exactly. I'm going to turn off, that's reverse, but I'm going to go into first gear, which would be forward if my engine went the other way. Which I might be able to get it to if I do some more logic. Nor. Go dink, dink, dink. Engine's gonna freak out real quick while I'm doing this. Let's put this back on lift, take it off. Hope that nothing breaks. There we go. And press 4. Let's see. You and you should be firing. See if we can fix this. This is what I said earlier about trial and error. There we go. Maybe it'd help if that was connected, wouldn't it? That's interesting. It should be working. It's not. And force it to work by doing this. Now that's a pain. One moment, I have an idea. I have another idea. Sorry if it seems like I'm going quiet. I'm going quiet because I'm thinking. I'm trying to figure out why this isn't working. Now, another thing I can do is I can change this rear axle, can't I? Something I've done before. Why haven't I done it now? Should be as simple as putting you on a lift. Deleting that and that. and that. And then this, and this. And this. Taking off the lift. And fixing this gear right in there. There we go. That should fix my driving backwards problem. And the engine works better in this way for some reason. There we go. Now we're driving forward in first gear. And let's go to second gear. I might be making another version of this engine soon. Right now I'm just going to leave it as this. It's a little bit big, slightly bigger than I would have hoped it to be, but it's actually quite decent sized. I'm probably going to grab the other one real quick, and just to show off its size comparison. Actually, real quick, let's test its power. It's not the best, it doesn't seem. Also seems to be slightly unreliable. There we go. Because the bearings that are in this to help it form, as well as the timing system that's in this, it's very unreliable. It can break very easily, it seems. That is just not that powerful of an engine. Because that shouldn't be stopping me. That really shouldn't be stopping me. Oh, I know why, because this is the Gear Car 20. It's not built for rock climbing now, ain't it? Gear Car 20 is... Despite it having like the suspension on it, it's more of a race car build. I guess if I grabbed the Gear Car 25, I would have a better chance off-road. It seems like this engine is holding its own. I certainly wouldn't say it's one of my best engines. Maybe once I make the other version, I can probably get this to be a lot smaller. I probably wouldn't say twice as small. Oh, because what I'm thinking of doing is right now the V is at a 90-degree angle. I think I can get that V to about, say, a 30 or 60-degree angle. Maybe even a 45. But that's something I'll have to do in the future. For now, this is what I'm done with. I think this is fine. So this is a... God, come on. There we go. This is a V6 engine. It's the first one I've done. It kind of follows the same firing system or same crankshaft as I'd use in a boxer engine, where it's a base 3 setup, so it's firing 1 2 3 1 2 3 instead of something like the inline 6, which would be 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6, where this is just 1 2 3 1 2 3. As you can see, I only have 3 AND gates in this one. Now this could use a lot of work. It's very early prototype, I guess, of an engine. But I am going to end this episode out here. If you did enjoy this episode, please leave a like. If you have any suggestions for future episodes, please leave in the comments down below. If you enjoy the channel, enjoy what I'm doing, please subscribe. It helps a lot. And right now, shares help out the channel the most. So if you do really want to help out the channel, please share this episode with a friend. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sticking around. And until next time, peace.